All right. Hey, everybody. Jimmy Mack coming to you live. And this is part of our little give back series. We really enlisted help for the last couple of hurricanes out of Florida, Helene, and then, of course, Milton. So, for those of you that are really experiencing challenges worldwide, we want to kind of give you a brief overview. And we've got some items to clear and the negative, and of course, expanding it into the positive as well. So, this is free, and this is our give back to everyone, really. And, as a side note, we worked really diligently, a lot of folks did worldwide with us in moving this particular storm, Milton. I kept getting intuitively it was going to be about 6 miles south of the Skyway Bridge. The Sunshine Skyway Bridge is huge, maybe a little bit smaller than the Bay Bridge or San Francisco Bridge, but you could Google Sunshine Skyway Bridge in Florida and you'll see it is a big bridge. So the goal was to at least try and move things further south in a less populated area. Of course, the storm ended up breaking up and scattering everywhere. They still don't know why. I think we had 100 tornadoes sighted, spotted, warnings, that sort of thing. And they actually had a tornado over on Cocoa Beach area as well. So this is our give back for you, and you'll understand once I get underway. And you could always visit this time and time again. It may be a little save go-to for you if you do wind up in the other hemispheres of cyclones, or you experience an earthquake, or the fires we got going now out in California, of course, and Wyoming. And clearly we're playing around in what's going on energetically in order to move it. And by the way, the storm ended up moving 60 miles south of the skyway of the South Span. So it was like Spirit's like, big wink to all of us. We got this. Forget about 6 miles. We did 60. So that tells you what's possible. And you could always email me to info@jimmymackhealing.com. Remember that. If you know that a fire is approaching 20 miles away, or perhaps there is a cyclone warning, or an earthquake, or some natural disaster. So think of this as a theme of natural disasters, tidal waves, that sort of thing, tsunamis, they call them. And so stick with me. Here's what we're going to do. We want to clear out the blocks, of course, and the weaknesses, and strengthen all the positive pieces. And it's all being caught up in, I'm going to call it a catastrophe. So we're going to release any of that. Okay, thank you. And anything catastrophic. And any of this that still serves us, we're releasing that to no. We learned all the lessons we need to from catastrophic events, catastrophes, all the fear, chaos, drama, mystery, intrigue, and upset. So let's release all that. And also take out any of the emotional pieces down to 0. So even if they're as high as a 10 and you have storm fatigue, anxiety, stress, tension, we would go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And infinity less than 0. Here we go. Themes to clear. All right. Shock, sadness, depression, and the aftermath, and during recovery. So let's release any of that and resolve it. Okay, thank you. And also shock and awe comes through. We're going to release that as well. Okay, frantic, fear, and scared. How will my family survive? How do I provide for and carry on? And let's release all the fear. And that shows up more as the fear of the unknown. So let's release you out of that. I often would say I'd rather know the best or the worst, but you don't want to be caught up in the unknown. That's terrifying. And also, will we have the resources to recover and start over? So anywhere there's lack is what comes through. Let's release all the lack. Okay, thank you. And let's release everyone out of survival mode. That comes through. And let's download that there'll be more than enough resources to get us back on our feet. That is the word track that comes through. Very cool. That's a lot better. Loss of property, jobs, businesses, money, income. favorite places in the community, lifelong beloved places to visit, and of course, changes in lifestyle. So let's release everybody out of that and any upsettedness that goes with it. Also, the other pieces that come through will be if and when we've lost water, power, and of course, Wi-Fi. Okay, thank you, phone service. And let's release us all out of those themes of loss, disentangle them, uncollapse them now, and there they go. Paranoia, dread, anxiety. This is awful. What's next? Well, don't ever ask them what's next, or they'll show you. Yeah, we want to release all that too. And really, it's storm fatigue. So whether it would be a cyclone, a hurricane, this is specific to Helene, of course, as well as Milton. It is really a fatigue. It's an anxiety, stress, and tension. Okay, thank you. And tension shows up more than anything else. So we just released all that. And a darker agenda that's against us. Well, who wouldn't think that with all this going on? If you look over all the patterns, you'd really find something there and understand more. So let's take us all out of a darker agenda. Okay, thank you. And the other theme is waiting for the other shoe to drop. So let's release that too. Okay, thank you. And instead, let's drop in. It's safe and comfortable to have the best show up. That's really what we want to see happen. Caught in survival risk mode, fight or flight. Very much so. Let's release all those. And survival still comes up strong. Let's release that. Okay, and the questioning of what now? And let's release that. Thank you. All right. Anger, upset at the government, each other, over rhetoric, red tape, politics, unbalanced, and sensationalized media reporting. That's true too. Let's release all that. More than one friend of mine calls it fear porn. Isn't that funny? It's like they just want you upset and just catastrophic over what's next. And we're releasing all that now off everybody and everything. Frustration. Good God, who doesn't have frustration? If you're waiting for your utilities and things to come back online, or favorite places you like to go to open and they still aren't open, banking, whatever it may be, let's release the frustration around all that. And there it goes. All right, survivor's guilt, carrying on with their own life. Let's get everybody out of guilt. And again, more frustration shows up. Okay, thank you. Shame spirals show up for more than one person. Let's release that. Okay, thank you. And woulda, shoulda, coulda. So let's release that. And just know that you probably really did do the best you could do with the situation at hand and the information at hand. So that's huge. So let's release you out of that. Okay, thank you. And they're saying any and all people that passed, and any of all people, also pets that passed. We're releasing them now into the light and beyond. And I've seen it, and it's gorgeous. It's nothing you want to come back from. We want to give them the realization that it's safe and comfortable to go home, meaning spirit world. And there it goes. Okay, good. PTSD of waking up wondering if it was a dream, but remembering it's a reality. Even tiny shocks like that linger. Okay, that's true too. So let's release all that. And any PTSD, it's going to follow up from watching the weather, maybe news reports again around hurricanes, cyclones, tidal waves, tsunami, fires, earthquakes, volcanoes come through too. Let's release all that too. And anywhere there is any natural catastrophe that in any way negatively affects your life, let's release all that. And there it goes. Okay. I'm asking if there's anything else they want to touch on that. Okay, thank you. They just want to say they want to lift the veil of uncertainty around it all, and we're releasing that. And instead, they're playing the song for me. It's going to be a bright, sunshiny day. So let's drop that in instead. and also make a full and complete recovery like we would if we had an illness, disease, disorder. This can be very traumatic for our psyche, our emotional pieces of believe, think, know, or feel, and our mental capacity. So let's change all that and strengthen that. There it is. All right. And of course, in any kind of catastrophe that we know is coming, there is helplessness. So we're releasing helplessness. And one of the other pieces that are really worldwide right now are floods. So anywhere there's an overflow, also they're saying the tide rising, the floodwaters rising. Let's release that. Lots of destruction that. Okay, thank you. And then when I go to floods and water overflow, let's release that. Also the wind. So constant wind can really take out and destroy anything. It's one thing to get a 100-mile gust of wind. It's another thing to get a 100-mile gust of wind for 12 hours. So let's release and resolve that. And anywhere everybody got beat up, a feeling of being beat up, let's say emotionally, physically, spiritually, even in the storm prep or prepping for any catastrophic event that we had some time frame around to get prepared for. That's always frantic as well, being out with others that are also prepping, whether it is getting food supplies or lumber or fuel or any necessities, generators, that sort of thing. So let's release all the anxiety, stress, and tension around that. Okay, thank you. And dread comes through as well. So there you go. So that's bound to help. We will jump to the positive outcomes because that's super important to really end on that. So the positive, of course, after it's all occurred and the storms have passed or the weather event has passed or the natural disaster event has passed, bringing communities together, supporting each other, uplifting each other, and coming back stronger. And really what comes through for that is it's almost like the old adage of teamwork makes the dream work. So let's release anything that's blocking around that. And anybody that is still struggling right now with bare necessities, okay, thank you. Or feeling left out, let's release that. Okay, thank you. And there's more than one person that's searching for things too, whether it may be a friend you lost touch with and wondered about, a pet, that sort of thing. Let's release that. And again, that's a tremendous amount of unknowing. So we're releasing that as we say it now. All right. And what media didn't show us, the pictures of people's happiness, recovering, sharing their particular, encouraging others, of course, with wins. So for those of you that had positive things happen, let's strengthen all that. Okay, thank you. And for also the rescue people, anybody involved in that, they're showing me the linemen too. So anybody involved in power and telephone service and just the basics. Okay, thank you. Internet service. And of course, water service. We want to see strength and restoration coming through for all that as well. All of this shows a tremendous amount of adaptability. We lost power there shortly. And all I could think of is, well, thank God we have water, right? That's what I go to, the most positive piece. So really, if you concentrate on the negative, it's almost like enforcing it and winding up with more negative. We really want to concentrate on the positive and go, well, I don't have this, but at least I have that. And we will rebuild and things will vastly improve. So we always want to be able to adapt to any given situation. And there's strength in numbers when it comes to all that. So as much as you can reach out to others or even reach out to us, we're here to support you emotionally and spiritually as well. All right, worldwide outpouring. These are all positive things too. Prayers to dissipate the storm, love, strength, steering to locations that affect less people. So whatever that is, let's release anything blocking it. And we want to see, again, light winds, light rain, less natural disasters that people are dealing with now. Let's release you out of that. Okay, thank you. And they're saying get you out of the line of fire or the direct issue with any of that. Emphasis not relying solely on, obviously, government, but local support that could get you through. Friends, neighbors. We have a tremendous outpouring of that and others that will help. And a lot of times, boots on the ground and our neighbors are more likely to get to us first throughout this, as opposed to waiting on the government, of course, for anything. We're also choosing to open up to higher views and lighter perspective on everything. And so, obviously, if you're hearing this, you're seeing this, you're enjoying this as a clearing, know that you're doing fantastic and you can build up from there. Very important. So, new purpose, building friendships, relationships through community, gathering together, and sharing gratitude. And I want to drop in an attitude of gratitude for everybody right now. That's super important. Okay, thank you. Thankfulness also comes through. And we're thankful that we were spared. If you're watching this, you were spared from some other natural disaster, I'm sure. Have a great story. Grateful for help of obviously the linemen restoring power, the first responders stepping up to rescue people in need. Very much so. Okay, thank you. And for all those that have risked life and limb to help and contribute to others, people, places, things, pets, and situations. And we're sending them a world of thanks as well. And it very well could make a difference, a positive one in our lives. Adversity making people obviously more resilient, stronger, and people who are awe-inspiring. And it does lift others up. It lifts us up. Just hearing from you all makes a difference for us as well to know that you're okay. Pets is being saved and, of course, cared for and reunited with owners. Ah, let's give that a beautiful thought. Think of that as more than a meme. Also, loved ones, reuniting with them after any catastrophic piece. All right, about enduring this, it's what it takes to get to the other side. We find our own power, we build a better world, and we stay out of basically a victimhood mentality. So, okay, thank you. We're releasing the blame game. And instead, we're empowering everyone with endurance and strength. Thank you. Stamina and feeling more grounded and positive. And finally, gaining inner strength and determination to accept the reality and keep moving forward, realizing that life goes on. Let's drop that in for everybody, and let's see everybody and everything improving in all their situations, all people, places, things, pets, and situations that you may be encountering now. We're going to empower you to find the most positive outcomes with all these events now and in the future, and so it is. Ooh, that was big. I felt it. All right, everybody. We love you, as they say. Stay safe out there. We appreciate you. Reach out if we can contribute to you in any way. Stay tuned for what's next. It's never a dull moment. Bye for now.